When preparing houses to sell, we focus so much of our attention on the inside that we forget that if they don't like what they see on the outside, they'll never see what's on the inside. I know, mic drop. In all seriousness, if your house looks neglected on the exterior, buyers are going to expect that the interior is going to follow suit. You want the entire home buying experience at your property to be a positive one. From the moment they drive up to your house, to when they walk up to the front door, when they walk through the front door, and then throughout. Hi, I'm Alice T. Chan, OG stager and home selling strategist. Over the last 15 years, I've helped thousands of homeowners prepare their houses to sell, and in the course of that time, I've also sold 4 of my own homes, so I definitely know which home improvements make the biggest difference. Welcome back to my home improvement series where I am sharing my top tips for improving the resale value of your property. If you missed last week's video where I shared my top tips for improving the interior of your property, I will link the video in the cards above. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the exterior of your home, also known as the curb appeal. You literally want people driving by your house and saying, "Oh my gosh, what a cute house. I wonder what it looks like on the inside." Not, "Ew, did you see that house on Elm Street? They didn't even try. Can you imagine what it must look like on the inside?" That's called Nightmare on Elm Street. Not good for when you're selling a house. That is definitely not how we want the conversation to go. So how do you get that positive first reaction? This applies to both physical and digital reactions since most of the home buying process begins online. Those photos have to capture the beauty, not the tragedy. One of the first things you want to do is repaint the interior. So give your house a power wash and repaint it with a fresh coat of paint. Take a look at the house colors on your block and choose something that is a little bit different so that your property stands out. Now, you want to pick some sensible colors. Let's not go with something pink or purple or anything juvenile. You want to pick a marketable color, something that's neutral but not too blah. We recently changed up the color of a property and it turned out beautifully. It's this gorgeous blue color with bright white trim, and it's definitely now the prettiest house on the block. Next, you want to update your light fixtures. This includes your porch light and any of the security lights on the side yards as well as the backyard. I highly recommend a motion sensor so that it automatically turns on when somebody walks up to your property. Now, of course, this also means that if a cat or a dog or a raccoon walks up to your house, it's going to light up, but at least you'll know when you're getting those visitors. Another thing you want to do is update the address numbers. Now, there are so many options available nowadays. You're not limited to those builder basic styles that are backlit and probably needs a light bulb change, but you can either get the ones that are lit or you can just get the pretty numbers. And if you already have numbers but they're looking a little shabby, there's nothing like a quick coat of spray paint to refresh the look. I also recommend that you update your mailbox. Now, this tends to be a neglected accessory, but it is a statement maker nonetheless. Now, is that statement saying that you just don't care? Or can you make a little bit of an effort and either replace it with a brand new mailbox, which is very inexpensive, or just like with those address numbers, you can give it a quick coat of spray paint and breathe some new life into it. Next, you'll want to repaint or refinish your front door. Repainting your front door to coordinate with the new body color is a great statement maker. Now, buyers are going to remember you as that house with that cute yellow door or the red door or even the black door. If you have a solid wood door, you can have it refinished and restained, but this goes a long way in making that great first impression. Next, you'll want to power wash your exterior and your walkways. Listen, if you've never power washed before, let me just warn you, it can be addicting. When you see all that dirt and grime lift off of the concrete, it is an incredible feeling, like you're just motivated to keep going. Our homes need a good cleaning to keep it fresh. Dirt, dust, spider webs, that detracts from the curb appeal. When you give everything a power wash, it feels like you feel when you come home and take a long hot shower after you've been camping in the wilderness for a few days. There's nothing like it. Another thing you need to do to increase the curb appeal of your home is to refresh your landscaping. All front and backyards could use some TLC, whether that's just mowing the lawn and edging the lawn, or you are replacing some sod where there's some dead grass, you are trimming back mature plants or removing dead plants. And the rule of thumb is you want to replace plants with larger plants. Don't get the little baby plants. I know that's tempting because they're less expensive, but it does not fill up space and it looks like you went and bought a bunch of little baby plants and put them down. Now, if you know you're planning on selling and you have the time to let these plants grow, that's great. But if you're doing this right before you're putting it on the market, it looks really silly when you have a bunch of little baby plants all over the place. If you're within a few weeks or days of you going on the market, invest in the larger plants. Here's another tip, and it's a big one. Please listen to me. Only use black mulch. Do not use brown because it looks like poop. And never ever use red because it's not flattering. So let me share a little story with you. I have a trade vendor that I work with, and a couple of months ago she and her husband decided to redo the landscaping of their front yard, and they had a pretty large front yard, and they spent a lot of time and money on getting new plants and redoing everything, and she just absolutely hated it and she didn't know what to do. So she texted me the photos, and one of the first things I said is you need to add some elevation because it's such a big space that if everything is so flat, there's nothing interesting to look at. And the next thing is they used brown mulch. Just imagine a huge front yard, pretty deep yard, just brown. It looked like poop. It looked like dirt and it looked like poop. That's not flattering. So the thing I recommended for her to do is replace that brown mulch with black mulch, because what black mulch does, it allows the greenery and the colors from your flowers and all of your other plants to really pop. So she was smart. She listened to me. Rather than complaining about, oh my gosh, how much time we spent on this already and how much money we spent on this, they did what I had recommended. Don't ask if you're not going to take the recommendation. They took my recommendations and they removed the brown mulch from their front yard and they replaced it with black, and she was so much happier. So don't be one of those people. Don't ask why something's not working and you're given the advice but that you don't follow through with it. And don't be one of those people that just lives with it because, oh, we spent the money, we already spent the time. Why subject yourself to that aggravation every day when you drive home and you're just frustrated or you're just annoyed because that's not what you envisioned, it's not what you wanted. Take the time to correct the mistakes. Mistakes happen, it's okay, but you can rectify it. So put forth the effort and make yourself happier, because as you drive home every single day, you want to be like, oh, my front yard is so pretty. Not, ugh, what a huge mistake. Not worth it. Another thing that you want to do is clean your decks and make any repairs as needed. Decks can be a great selling feature, but only if they're not a hazard. So repair any wood rot and have it sanded, restained, or repainted. And nobody wants to inherit a termite nest, so make sure that your wood deck is viable. The next thing you want to do, and this is an important one, is clear away any unnecessary debris. Every home is guilty of collecting debris around their home. Whether it's garbage, it's recycling, it's leftover product from previous projects. Make sure to get rid of anything that is no longer needed and you're not going to be bringing with you to your new home. And don't convince yourself that the next homeowner is going to want what you leave behind, because they probably don't. Old firewood should also be removed because they're just a breeding ground for termites. Now, if you live in cabin country, maybe that's something that is attractive to a potential home buyer, but I'm guessing most of you don't live in cabin country. Last but not least, repair fencing and restain them as needed. Fences in poor condition kill the curb appeal vibe. Make sure that the fence is not leaning over to your neighbor's side, or if there's like slats missing. The bottom portion of the fence tends to rot a lot sooner because that's where it has direct contact with water. You want to check the integrity of the wood and power wash them and either restain them or repaint them. Now, if one side of the fence is really bad, you may want to speak with your neighbor about replacing that section of the fence, because it's usually a shared expense between the neighbors who share that property line. But keep in mind that you may have to bite the bullet and just pay for the entire expense because you're the one that's selling the property and you want to make the best first impressions. I know it can be unfair, but it'll help you sell faster, and that's one less ammunition your buyer has against you to lower that sales price. Now you know the top exterior home improvement strategies to increase the resale value of your home. But as you can imagine, there is so much more. To help you navigate the home selling process successfully, I have put together a comprehensive Make Every Buyer Want You pre-sale checklist. It outlines everything that you should check, repair, or replace throughout your home inside and out. If you follow everything on this checklist, there is definitely no reason why buyers are not wanting to make offers on your property. You can download the pre-sale checklist by clicking on the link below this video. If you found these tips helpful, please subscribe and share with your friends and hit that like button so that we know to make more videos just like this. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.